opposition, the Honourable Lynda Tabuya. You have the floor, ma'am.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I'd like to begin my reply by stating that just like everything this government does, there's no adequate consultation with stakeholders. I just heard the Honourable Minister list those that were consulted for the final draft of the bill, which is now going to the Solicitor General's office, and there's been no mention of consultation with Indigenous landowners. They are not the public, they are stakeholders. We have villages that are part of our urban centres and boundaries. And we have informal settlements, Honourable Speaker, informal settlements that are also within town boundaries. So why hasn't she mentioned that specifically, that they have been consulted? Now, Honourable Speaker, these villages like Nosori Village and Yaroi in Sausavu, they're also under the Itoke Affairs Act. So as expansions take place, the review must ensure that the Indigenous landowners are properly consulted, because she did not mention it in her statement.
There is a point of order.
I didn't mention it.
What?
She is misleading the Parliament. I had already said Rokotuis from 12 provinces were consulted. What else do you want? Why are you saying that the consultation did not take place? We have done consultation for 5 long years
Through the Speaker.
with each and every stakeholder. And you can have a look at the Hansard report tomorrow. Thank you.
Through the Speaker. Make your point of order correction through the Speaker, not to each other. You have the floor.
Honourable Speaker, it really concerns the opposition that the Honourable Minister is confused with what the Rokotuis are and the Indigenous landowners are. Rokotuis are government officials. They're not the Indigenous landowners. So she needs to clarify what she stated is incorrect. The Rokotuis are government officials and not the Indigenous landowners themselves. So the lack of consultation is concerning to the opposition, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the other issue I'd like to point out is that them being under the Itoke Affairs Act, they need to ensure that there's synergy between these new laws and the Itoke Affairs Act, so that we don't once again have confusion or lack of consultation with our Indigenous landowners. Now, Honourable Speaker, moving on to the next point, Honourable Speaker, the explosion of informal and squatter settlements in our cities, in towns around the country, Honourable Speaker. It has exploded under this government, and yet this has not been a priority for government to provide affordable housing for our people. And I've raised this so many times before. 15 years now, 16 years. Now, Honourable Speaker, it isn't in our nation's interest to keep our people in informal settlements and squatter settlements. We need to provide something better, better services, better access to water, better access to electricity in our towns and cities. I mean, I give the example of Tuirara Farm Road in Makoi that still don't have water. Just outside of Makoi, of Hanson and that particular main road, we have Uduna settlement in Nakasi. And one particular settlement...
The Speaker says she's misleading the Parliament. The Tuirara case, the water meter has been fixed, is about to be fixed. People have paid for that meter, and it's in progress. She's misleading the Parliament.
It's about to be fixed.
Honourable Speaker, I have not misled the House. There are actually, if they go and check Tuirara Farm Road, if they drive all the way in, there are 12 to 14 families and settlements that haven't received water. They don't have a water supply. They still don't to this day. And he needs to go and check that out as the Assistant Minister. Now, Honourable Speaker, and just a stone's throw away from the Attorney General's residence is a settlement between Padamlala and Salato Road that still don't have electricity to this day. But 10 to 15 homes, which he can certainly do a service for and go and help them out. Now, Honourable Speaker, we need our people to have proper title, to feel secure, and we hope that the government will prioritise the movement of formalizing informal settlements as they have promised from 2014. Honorable Speaker, the other issue about rubbish disposal, and I've always brought this up, but I would like the Honorable Minister and the Ministry to consider what are they doing about the green waste, compost that are coming out of our homes and the markets of cities and towns. You know, are we just going to keep dumping them in Namboro? Is there a way that we can look into converting that into green waste into energy? Yeah, into biogas or organic liquid fertilizer, much healthier, much cheaper, and safer for our environment, Honorable Speaker, rather than the millions of dollars we spend on chemical fertilizers we import. Now, lastly, Honorable Speaker, I'm asking that vendors at this time of our markets, can they please be given temporary license to sell vegetables on their private properties? Honorable Speaker, quarantine zones have become a disruption to supply. Movement restrictions, bus timetables, and the fear of crowds have made trips to the municipal markets untenable. What we want is the convenience to buy vegetables at your local neighborhood store. This is why I'm calling for the Minister through and also to local governments. Please grant these licenses to support these livelihoods of our people. It would be a great help to provide these spaces. So I hope that this review and this act will look into these concerns that we have. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Well said.
I thank the honourable member for her contribution, and I now give the floor to the designated Speaker of the National Federation Parties, the Honourable Pio Tikonduandua. You have the floor.